Hello Stampers! I've got a camping card for you today. This is probably be a good outdoorsman type card, maybe for some gentlemen or even women that like to be outside and camp. So we're going to be using the Stampin Up Campology stamp set today. This has all kinds of camping items in it. So you have a lantern, your tent, your binoculars. I love this set of trees especially, and then it has some great sentiments in it. Today I'm using the Enjoy Today stamp that's in the set right here, and it could be used for many occasions, so that's what I selected. We're going to start with our main image panel, which is 3.5 inches square. I have all the dimensions for the card down below this video. Just click show more and you'll see all the panels sizes listed there, along with all the product links that'll take you directly to my online store where you can shop from me 24/7. So you can find those there, and we're going to get started here, and we're going to start with blending brushes and some ink. I'm going to start with Balmy Blue, a blue blending brush. So we're going to mainly work in the top half of this card, and I'm going to start putting Balmy Blue all over the top half of this panel. This has to be one of my favorite all-time colors. Actually, I'm using quite a few of my all-time colors here that I like. Balmy Blue, Pacific Point, Old Olive, and Soft Suede. I use those a lot. So there's our Balmy Blue. And then we're going to go to Pacific Point ink. And we're going to blend Pacific Point ink around, like, we're going to act like there's a circle here, and we're going to blend this around the circle. You want to leave like a circle of light there, like there may be a moon shining up there in the sky. So just that simple. So we're going to leave that spot just Balmy Blue, and then darken this. There we go. And now I'm going to bring in a little Night of Navy. And I'm going to bring that into the corners of this top corners here. There we go. It really gives your sky some real depth with those separate colors happening. All right. So then we need a Post-it note. And we're going to put this Post-it note down right below the blue. There we go. So we're going to start with Balmy Blue and our tree image. We're going to stamp these up here. Now see, most of the image is down on this Post-it note, and we'll stamp some more over here. And then I'm going to get some Memento Tuxedo black ink out here. And I'm going to stamp some darker trees, so the light blue ones will be like out in the distance. They'll be lighter in color. And these darker ones will be up front and closer. So we have some there. You can make these trees any size you want. That's what's nice about putting that Post-it note there. There we go. So there's our trees in our scene. Now I'm going to take that off, and I am going to rip the edge of this Post-it note that we used. And this is a 3x5 Post-it note, by the way. just going to rip a little bit off of that sticky part. I want kind of a little bit of a jagged edge, just so it's not just straight across, because we're going to put in our bank here. There we go. I'm going to get the old olive ink out. And an old olive blending brush. And we're going to blend old olive in here, this white area, up and into those trees just a bit. Because we want it to look like our grass goes further on than what the trees are. I like to get this fairly dark. There we go. And then I'm going to take this Post-it note off, and I'm going to just move it just a bit so we don't have a repeat pattern. So I moved it over to the side just a little bit. And we're going to get some soft suede ink out here. And a soft suede brush. And then we're going to blend that color in, that white area just above the Post-it note. And this is going to be our like river bank, this brown area. It's all right if a little bit goes in the green. I'm going to build this color up nice and strong because it's going to dry at least 2 shades lighter. There we go. So there's our brown area for our bank. And now it's time to stamp our tent. And I'm going to use Memento Tuxedo Black for that. And I'm also going to stamp it on a piece of scrap basic white. I'm going to stamp it on our panel where we want it. And you'll see why in here in a few minutes. So there's one stamping. It's okay that the trees and everything are showing through it. And then we're going to stamp it on the basic white panel. There we go. So there is our tent. And now we're going to color our tent in. I'm going to start with Balmy Blue markers. And this side of this tent is going to be colored in with Balmy Blue. The whole right side there. You can't see the left side, so there's no coloring there. And then that was the light Stampin' Blend marker, Balmy Blue, and this is the dark Balmy Blue marker. And up here where it's shaded, we're going to add some of this dark Balmy Blue. And then right under the flap on the side will be dark Balmy Blue. Okay, and getting the light Daffodil Delight out. And we're going to color the entire front of the tent. And then the dark Daffodil Delight we're going to add up here in the top peak of the tent. And where it shows it kind of shaded at the sides here, side bottoms, and then down where the center flap is. Okay, so that's the coloring of our tent. Then we're going to get paper snips out here, and we're just going to cut the tent out, not the ropes holding it down, just the tent itself. So it's pretty easy to cut out. You don't have to worry at all about those ropes, just the tent itself. Here we go. And that's all we're cutting out, and then we're going to adhere this tent over the one on the panel. Okay, just line it up with that image on the panel. There you go, and you can see that the ropes line up with the ones that are on the panel, so you didn't have to worry about cutting those ropes out or nothing. So we just cut the tent out, and it lines right up there, and that's an easy way to get that in there, especially with that light, those light colors. So cutting that image out is the best way to go. Okay, so we're done with this post-it note. We got lots of use out of that. And now we're going to work on this bottom, and this is our water area. And we're going to bring out some So Saffron ink and a blending brush, and we're going to blend this right here in front of directly below the tent where the light would be reflected in the water. So just blend that in on that white area. There we go. Then we're going to bring out some Pacific Point ink. And we're going to pull this color in from the left side into that yellow a bit. So there's that. Then I like to turn this upside down to work on this other side. It's easier. So then we're going to pull it in on this side. You can build that color up. And there's our water reflecting in there. And the light. So now I want to darken that even a little bit more. So we're going to get some Night of Navy out here. And I'm going to add Night of Navy just a little bit on this side in the water. Turn it around, and then I'm going to add some over here on this side. Probably about half of this Pacific Point area I'm going to make Night of Navy over here. And I'm lifting my brush up as I go. And there's our water. It's really simple, but it looks great. So there you have that, and that's how you get that light in the water. It's so fun. Okay, so there is our main panel all done. So now we're going to start putting our card together, and I'm just going to flip this inky paper over. There we go. Don't want any mishaps. So now I have my card base here. My card base is Night of Navy, and it's 5.5 by 8.5, and you fold it in half for a quarter card. Inside I have a Mossy Meadow panel that is 4 by 5.25, and then a Balmy Blue panel that's 3 3/3 by 5. And then on the front is another Mossy Meadow panel that is 4 by 5.25. And then I have out of the Neutrals Designer Series paper pack. I love this checked print here. It's Mossy Meadow, and it's out of the Neutrals pack, and it's 2.5 by 5. So I was able to get 2 cards out of just one sheet of that 6 by 6 paper in that paper pack. And all we're going to do is we're going to add this to the front of our card. Just adhere it on. Get my multi-purpose glue out here. And I didn't exactly put it in the center. I'm down from the top a bit because I wanted to have room for our sentiment up here. So there's our main panel. And then I have a little 1/2 inch by 2 inch Balmy Blue piece here. And I'm going to get Night of Navy out. And then I have my Enjoy Today stamp. And I'm going to stamp this on this piece. There we go. And then I'm going to take some Pacific Point ink and a blending brush, and I'm just going to blend a little bit of that ink there at the sides of this little strip. And you leave that center nice, and it really highlights your sentiment quite a bit with very little effort. Okay, and then the last thing we're going to do is we're going to add some Stampin' Dimensionals to the back of this just to pop it up. And I'm going to add 3. And here we go. We're going to add this to our panel here. And I didn't center this. I have it a little off-centered to the left side a bit. And there's our sentiment on there. And our card. Look how nice and bright it looks. It's a fun project. And I think it's very eye-catching. So here is our card for today. And thank you so much for joining me. Bye.